But what we do is a lot more modern version of what the Europeans do. The Europeans have been using Muscat and Colombard and things like I forget it's a wine that's really high in acid and almost unpalatable. They distill it into cognac, and so they use kind of the tail ends of the grapes that they're not going to bottle and sell as wine, and strip all the acid back, usually strip the color out of it, and either make sweet vermouth or dry vermouth out of it. But what we do in Oregon is we use finished wine as opposed to wine that's relatively unpalatable. So this is Pinot Gris based. It's the most abundant wine in the Willamette Valley. Easy for us to get. We do source the finished wine first, and then make a winemaker's blend out of that, and whatever is left over, the tailings, end up getting distilled into brandy, oak aged, and fortified back into the wine. So we use everything from top to bottom of what we buy. The Gris is aged in French oak for 4 to 5 months before it's blended and bottled. The brandy itself is also aged in French oak with a heavy dosing of charred American oak chip, so we can extract some really heavy oaky, caramely aspects from that brandy. And the fortification process is the last thing that happens. So what we do is we take the wine, put it in tank, and then we put together bags of our herbal blend. And the herbs that we use are a combination of 9 herbs and spices, including organic Egyptian chamomile, elderflower, clove, sage leaf, coriander, and a couple other things I'm not able to speak of. But what we do is we basically make tea out of all of these herbs and put them in brewer's bags, which are about the size of a small child, and put it into these winemaking tanks, move the wine from one tank to the other, and we let it sit for a certain period of time. And then we pull that wine through the bags at the bottom after, a little less than a day, through the herbs and through filtration, because you gotta extract all of that herbal particulate. You have to get it out, because if you don't filter it, really well, you end up with herbal particulate that will make the product go vegetal. So once we pull it through filtration, we cold stabilize for about 6 days, and then fortify right before bottling. So it gets fortified, I want to say, a day before we bottle it, maybe even a little bit less. And then it gets hit with a little bit of malolactic, and you pull all of the particulate, everything else that's out of it, and then we put it through sterile filtration into bottle and hit it with a little bit of gas on top. And what that whole process does, that's what preserves the wine, and that's what keeps it stable. The shelf life on this product is ridiculous.